Did it work that time? Yep. Alright. Here we go. Alrighty. Alrighty. I forgot to zoom in. Oops. Zoom in a little bit. Alright. Happy Sabbath, everybody. I'm Lee. Gonna continue reading Numbers. I did Numbers 19 through 24 last week, and for some reason the stream did not work. I looked over after the stream was over and it said live chat not working, and then I tried to go back in the video and it said going live, and then there was nothing there. You click on it and it said waiting, so it didn't even upload. So hopefully this week it'll upload. So I got to redo Numbers 19 through 24. Found some awesome connections last week, but hopefully I remember them. So praise Yah. Help this study be fruitful. In Yahushua's name, amen. Numbers 19. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, let's see. Yeah, we need to go here first. So, Numbers 19. There we go. Alright, from scroll 4Q27. Yahuwah spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, This is the statute of the law which Yahuwah has commanded. Tell the children of Israel to bring you a red heifer without spot, in which is no defect, and which was never yoked. You shall give her to Eleazar the priest, and he shall bring her outside of the camp, and they shall kill her before his face. And you'll see here that this is in our translation. So you go to Numbers 19 verse 3. 19 verse 3. So he shall bring her outside of the camp, and they, that he may bring her forth without the camp, and one shall slay her before his face. So one here. And the Dead Sea Scrolls manuscript, it does not have one, it has they. They shall kill her before his face. Eleazar the priest shall take some of her blood with his finger, and sprinkle her blood toward the front of the tent of meeting 7 times. One shall burn the heifer in his sight, her skin and her meat, and her blood with her dung shall he burn. The priest shall take cedar wood, hyssop, and scarlet, and cast it into the middle of the burning of the heifer. So that is going to 6. So here's another manuscript they found at Nahal Hever, and pretty much the same. So this manuscript does match what we have, and one shall kill her before his face. So even then, in the manuscripts, which this scroll came from one place and this scroll came from another place. So you would think if they had manuscripts of Numbers that they would all match. So somebody had one that said what we have, and the other one says something different. So 6. Verse 6, 7. Then the priest shall wash his clothes, and he shall bathe his flesh in water, and afterward he shall come into the camp, and the priest shall be unclean until the even. And he that burneth her shall wash his clothes in water, and bathe his flesh in water, and shall be unclean until the even. And a man that is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer, and lay them up without the camp in a clean place. And it shall be kept for the congregation of the children of Israel for a water of separation. It is a purification for sin. And he that gathereth the ashes of the heifer shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the even. Let's see if I zoom it in a little bit here. Yeah, there we go. And it shall be unto the children of Israel, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among them, for a statute forever. He that toucheth the dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days. He shall purify himself with it on the 3rd day. There's that 3rd day. And on the 7th day he shall be clean. There's that number 7 again. But if he purify not himself the 3rd day, then the 7th day he shall not be clean. Whosoever toucheth the dead body of any man that is dead, and purifieth not himself, defileth the tabernacle of Yahuwah, and that soul shall be cut off from Israel. Because the water of separation was not sprinkled upon him, he shall be unclean. His uncleanness is yet upon him. And this is the law: when a man dieth in a tent, all that come into the tent, and all that is in the tent, shall be unclean 7 days. And every open vessel which hath no covering bound upon it is unclean. And whosoever toucheth one that is slain with a sword in the open fields, or a dead body, or a bone of a man, or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days. And for an unclean person they shall take of the ashes of the burnt heifer of purification for sin, and running water shall be put thereto in a vessel. And a clean person shall take hyssop, and dip it in the water, and sprinkle it upon the tent, and upon all the vessels, and upon the persons that were there, and upon him that touched a bone, or one slain, or one dead, or a grave. And the clean person shall sprinkle upon the unclean on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day, and on the 7th day he shall purify himself, and wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and shall be clean at even. But the man that shall be unclean, and shall not purify himself, that soul shall be cut off from among the congregation, because he hath defiled the sanctuary of Yahuwah. The water of separation hath not been sprinkled upon him, he is unclean. And it shall be a perpetual statute unto them, that he that sprinkleth the water of separation shall wash his clothes, and he that toucheth the water of separation shall be unclean until even. And whatsoever the unclean person toucheth shall be unclean, and the soul that toucheth it shall be unclean until even. So we see here, shall purify himself with it on the 3rd day. And if you go to it's a recurring theme throughout Scripture. Exodus 19:15, and he said unto the people, be ready against the 3rd day, come not at your wives. So don't lay with your wives. Purify yourself. See, and Moses went down from the mount unto the people, and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And it came to pass on the 3rd day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with Yahuwah, and they stood at the nether part of the mount. So in order to meet with Yahuwah, they had to wash their clothes, and don't lay with your wives. Be ready against the 3rd day to meet with Yahuwah. And also, Matthew 12, when we'll just read it. At the time Yahushua went on the Sabbath day through the corn, and his disciples were hungered. They were hungry, and began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day. So it's not lawful to do that on the Sabbath day. That's what they said. But he said unto them, have you not read what David did? Hold on a second. If they were wrong in saying that this is not lawful to do, his immediate response would have said, it would have been something like, you're wrong. This is lawful to do. He didn't say that. He referenced David. So the statement they made is valid. This is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day. Have you not read what David did when he was 100, and they that were with him? How he entered into the house of Yahuwah and did eat the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat. So they said it was not lawful for them to do that on the Sabbath day, and then he references David doing something which was not lawful for him to do. He gave an example to match their example. Neither for them which were with him, but only for the priest. Or have you not read in the law how that on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? Why would he reference the priest profaning the Sabbath and being blameless if the disciples did not profane the Sabbath up here? He wouldn't. He would just said, you're wrong. This is lawful. But I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple. So what is he referencing? David. First Samuel. Yeah, okay, here we go. 1 Samuel chapter 21. And David said unto Ahimelech the priest, the king hath commanded me a business, and hath said unto me, let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee, and what I have commanded thee, and I have appointed my servants to such and such a place. Now therefore what is under thine hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread in mine hand, or what there is present. And the priest answered David and said, there is no common bread under mine hand, but there is hallowed bread. If the young men have kept themselves at least from women. So what did David do? And what did the priest say? The priest referenced them keeping themselves from women. And David answered the priest and said unto him, of a truth women have been kept from us about these 3 days, since I came out, and the vessels of the young men are holy, and the bread is in a manner common, yea, though it were sanctified this day in the vessel. So because these men had not lain with women for 3 days, their vessels were holy, so the bread was sanctified in their vessels. So the priest gave him hallowed bread, for there was no bread there but the showbread that was taken from before Yahuwah to put hot bread in the day when it was taken away. So were the disciples profaning the Sabbath? Yes, but they were held blameless because their vessels were holy. Same for the priest, same for when they went up to Mount Sinai to receive the commandments, same in the sanctification. Shall purify himself with it on the 3rd day. Scripture does not contradict Scripture. Only our understanding contradicts. So, Numbers 20, verse 6. Numbers chapter 20. Then came the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, into the desert of Zin in the 1st month, and the people abode in Kadesh, and Miriam died there and was buried there. And there was no water for the congregation, and they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron. And the people chode with Moses and spake, saying, would Yahuwah that we had died when our brethren died before Yahuwah? And why have you brought up the congregation of Yahuwah into this wilderness, that we and our cattle should die there? And wherefore have you made us come up out of Egypt to bring us unto this evil place? It is no place of seed, or of figs, or of vines, or of pomegranates, neither is there any water to drink. Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly to the door of the tent of meeting, and fell on their faces. Yahuwah's glory appeared to them. Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, take the rod and assemble the congregation, you and Aaron your brother, and speak to the rock before their eyes, that it pours out its water. You shall bring water to them out of the rock, so you shall give the congregation and their livestock to drink. That's Numbers 20 from the scroll Nahal Hever. So, speak to the rock. That's the instruction of Moses. Let's see. And Moses took the rod from before Yahuwah as he commanded him, and Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock, and he said unto them, hear now, ye rebels, must we fetch you water out of this rock? So Moses called them rebels. Moses and Aaron. And Moses. And Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock twice, and water came out abundantly. So, did he speak to the rock? Nope. He spoke to the people, and then he smote the rock with his rod. And the congregation drank, and their beast also. So Moses transgressed, he didn't do the commandment. This is scroll 4Q27, Numbers 20. Yahuwah said to Moses and Aaron, because you didn't believe in me, to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore you shall not bring this assembly into the land which I have given them. These are the waters of Meribah, because the children of Israel strove with Yahuwah, and he was sanctified in them. And Moses said, Master Yahuwah, you have begun to show your servant your greatness and your strong hand. For what Elohim is there in heaven or on earth who can act according to your works and according to your mighty deeds? Please let me cross over and see that good land that is beyond the Jordan, those good mountains and Lebanon. But Yahuwah said to Moses, Enough, speak to me no more about this matter. Go up to the top of Pisgah and lift up your eyes to the west and to the north and to the south and to the east, and see it with your eyes, for you shall not cross over this Jordan. And you see the one here and all the extra text. If you go to Numbers 20:13 in our modern translation, this is all we have. Numbers 20, Brenton Septuagint. That's all we got. Numbers 20, Thompson Septuagint. Verse 13. That's all we got. Numbers 20, Pseudo Jonathan Aramaic Targums. Let's see. Moshe lifted up. Where's it at? These are the waters of Meribah, because the children of Israel strove with Yahuwah, and he was sanctified in them. These are the waters of contention, where the sons of Israel contended before Yahuwah on account of the well that had been hidden, and he was sanctified in them, and Moses and Aaron, when the waters were given to them. Missing from the Aramaic Targums also. Numbers 20, verse 13. Where's it at? Verse 13, Samaritan Pentateuch. This is the water of Meribah, because the children of Israel strove with Yahuwah, and he was sanctified in them. And Moses said, Yahuwah, you begin to show you servant of you greatness and the strong hand, who will do in heavens and in the earth that which you would do as deeds of you and as forces of you. Let me cross over, please, and I shall see the earth good which is across the Jordan, this good mountain and Lebanon. And Yahuwah said to Moses, enough of you to talk to me about this. Rise to the top of Pisgah, and lift your eyes toward the west and the north and the south and the east, and see with your eyes, as not you are going to cross this Jordan, and command with Joshua son of Nun, and strengthen him and encourage him. For he shall go over before this people, and he shall cause them to inherit the land which thou shalt see. And Yahuwah said to Moses to say, multitudes of you should turn around this mountain and face the north. And as it was commanded, say to the ones crossing over in the boundary, brothers of you, sons of Esau, the ones dwelling in Seir, and they will fear you, and you will be very careful as not to anger them, as I will not give you the land which he occupies, not even as much of a foot. As to Esau I gave the mountain Seir. Purchase from them food that you need to eat, and for the water to drink you shall pay with silver. That is all verse 13. So you'll see here we've got this verse 13 that more matches the Samaritan Pentateuch, what they have, but it's missing here at the end. That's one reason I like the Samaritan Pentateuch. You'll see what they have in the Dead Sea Scrolls, and then bam, they've got it in the Samaritan Pentateuch. It even tells you here at the bottom, 1, the scroll's reading here seems to match the Samaritan Pentateuch and uses words from Deuteronomy 2, 2 through 6, and 3, 24 through 28. Actually, Numbers is the account, and Deuteronomy references it. 2, 2 through 6, 3, 24 through 28. So we'll go to verse 16. And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh. They could translate that as angels in the Greek, but it is messengers. And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the king of Edom. Thus saith thy brother Israel, thou knowest all the travail that hath befallen us, how our fathers went down into Egypt, and we have dwelt in Egypt a long time, and the Egyptians vexed us and our fathers. When we cried to Yahuwah, he heard our voice, sent an angel, and brought us out of Egypt. Behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in the edge of your border. Please let us pass through your land. We will not pass through field or through vineyard, neither will we drink from the water of the wells. We will go along the king's highway. We will not turn away to the right hand nor to the left until we have passed your border. Uh, 18. And Edom said unto him, thou shalt not pass by me, lest I come out against thee with the sword. Not very brotherly. The children of Israel said to him, we will go up by the highway, and if we drink your water, I and my livestock, then I will give its price. Only let me, without doing anything else, pass through on my feet. He said, you shall not pass through, lest with the sword I come out to meet you. So that is in red, verse 20, which is removed. Verse 20. And he said, thou shalt not go through. So part of it is preserved in the Samaritan Pentateuch. Edom came out against him with much people and with a strong hand. Verse 20. Thou shalt not pass through to me. Edom went forth with a great host and a mighty hand. Thou shalt not pass through to me. Yep. 20. Shall not pass through. You shall not pass through, lest with the sword I come out to meet you. Edom came out against him with many people and with a strong hand. So that lest with the sword I come out to meet you is gone. So it's not even in the Samaritan Pentateuch. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his border, so Israel turned away from him. They traveled from Kadesh, and the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, came to Mount Hor. So you'll see different colored letters there, and a 2. Says the words in this verse and the next, colored in orange, are actually written in red ink on the scroll. Other verses in red ink are these here. So for some reason they wrote these in red ink. Came to the Mount Hor. 22. Yep, that is Mount Hor. 22, Mount Hor. Thompson matches the traditional text. Brenton does not. Yahuwah spoke to Moses and Aaron in Mount Hor by the border of the land of Edom, saying, Aaron shall be gathered to his people, for he shall not enter into the land which I have given to the children of Israel, because you rebelled against my word at the waters of Meribah. Rebelled against my word. But Yahuwah spake to Moshe and Aaron with the oath, because you have not believed in my word, to sanctify me in the sight of the children of Israel. Therefore you shall not bring this congregation into the land that I will give them. So the Aramaic Targum says, my word. Who's his word? The Messiah. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son, and bring them up to the Mount Hor, and you strip Aaron of his garments, and put them on Eleazar his son. Aaron shall be gathered, and shall die there. So if we go to John 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, or with the Father, and the Word was God, not the Father, but he was a God. The same was in the beginning with Yahuwah. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. So the Messiah is a God. He was with the Father in the beginning, and he was in the beginning. The Word. Moses did as Yahuwah commanded. They went up onto Mount Hor in the sight of all the congregation. Moses stripped Aaron of his garments and put them on Eleazar his son. Aaron died there on the top of the mountain, and Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain. When all the congregation saw that Aaron was dead, they wept for Aaron 30 days, even all the house of Israel. 29. Yep. So Numbers 21, scroll 4Q27. The Canaanite, the king of Arad, who lived in the south, heard that Israel came by the way of Atharim. He fought against Israel and took some of them captive. Israel vowed a vow to Yahuwah and said, if you will indeed deliver this people into my hand, then I will utterly destroy their cities. Okay, so 2. And Yahuwah hearkened to the voice of Israel and delivered up the Canaanites in his hand, and they utterly destroyed them and their cities, and he called the name of the place Hormah. 12. And they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea to compass the land of Edom, and the soul of the people was much discouraged because of the way. And the people spake against Yahuwah and against Moses, wherefore have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, neither is there any water, and our soul loatheth this light bread, the manna. And Yahuwah sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died. Therefore the people came to Moses and said, we have sinned, for we have spoken against Yahuwah and against thee. Pray unto Yahuwah that he take away the serpents from us. And Moses prayed for the people. He called them rebels in a previous passage, and he's praying for them. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, make thee a fiery serpent, and set it upon a pole, and it shall come to pass that every one that is bitten, when he looketh upon it, shall live. And Moses made a serpent of brass, and put it upon a pole. And it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld the serpent of brass, he lived. And the children of Israel set forward, and pitched in Oboth. And they journeyed from Oboth, and pitched at Abiram in the wilderness, which is before Moab, toward the sun rising. 12. So this here should be found in the manuscript, not in modern translations. So this is what they had in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Yahuwah said to Moses, don't bother Moab, neither contend with them in battle, for I will not give you any of his land for possession, because I have given Ar to the children of Lot for possession. Go down to 1. This reading matches the Samaritan Pentateuch and is taken from Deuteronomy 2:9. No, this reading matches the original in the Samaritan Pentateuch, and Deuteronomy 9 references it. This is what was originally in Numbers. Verse 12, Samaritan Pentateuch, and Yahuwah said to Moses, don't besiege Moab, and don't anger them, and I will not give you his land for possession, because I gave Ar to the sons of Lot for possession. From thence they removed, and pitched in the valley of Zered. From there they entraveled, and encamped in the valley of Zered. So this verse here, in modern translations, verse 12, Brenton Septuagint, you'll get, and thence they departed and camped in the valley of Zered. You're missing a whole big section. Next chapter, 21, 13. Verse 12, and removing from that place, they encamped in the vale of Zered. Thompson Septuagint. 21:12. King James Version, from thence they removed and pitched in the valley of Zered. Whole big chunk missing. 21 Aramaic Targums. It is really hard to find verses in this thing. So let's see, 21. This is the Jerusalem Targum. That's why there's brackets there. So this whole section is a different Targum stuck in the middle of it, which makes it even more difficult on the online version. The books I have, very easy to reference. Journey to Mount Ummah, land of his soul. Yep, I can't find it. Thou wilt indeed deliver this people into my hand. I will destroy their cities. Place Hormah. Indeed deliver his people in my hand. I will destroy their cities. Verse 2. Okay. Oboth. Can't find it. Anyways, so in this verse here, verse 13, and Yahuwah said to Moses, you are to pass over Ar, the border of Moab, today. When you come near the border of the children of Ammon, don't bother them, nor contend with them, for I will not give you any of the land of the children of Ammon for possession, because I have given it to the children of Lot for possession. 13. From there they traveled and encamped on the other side of the Arnon, which is in the wilderness that comes out of the border of the Amorites, for the Arnon is the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. So in verse 13, you will see Samaritan Pentateuch. Whole big verse 13. Brenton Septuagint 13. Shortened down. 13. Thompson Septuagint 13. Shortened way down. So this is verse 13 originally. Big old chunk taken out. Why they took it out? Good question. 2. This reading matches the Samaritan Pentateuch and is taken from Deuteronomy 2, 18 through 19. No, Deuteronomy 2, 18 through 19 references the account in Numbers. So we've got 13 up to 20. Wherefore it is said in the book of the wars of Yahuwah, what he did in the Red Sea and in the brooks of Arnon, and at the stream of the brooks that goeth down to the dwelling of Ar, and lieth upon the border of Moab. So there was a book of the wars of Yahuwah. And if you look, be very careful with a lot of things that they're claiming are the books that are not. They just slap the name on it, and then this is that book it's referencing. No. And from thence they went to Beer, that is the well whereof Yahuwah spake unto Moses, gather the people together to me, and I will give them water. Then Israel sang this song, Spring up, O well, sing ye unto it. The princes digged the well, the nobles of the people digged it by the direction of the lawgiver with their staves. From the wilderness they went to Mattanah, and from Mattanah to Nahaliel, and from Nahaliel to Bamoth, and from Bamoth in the valley that is in the country of Moab to the top of Pisgah, which looketh toward Jeshimon. That's 20. Yep. From Bamoth to the valley which is in the field of Moab to the top of Pisgah, which looks down on the desert. 21. And Yahuwah said to Moses, Rise up, take your journey, and pass over the valley of the Arnon. Behold, I have given into your hand Sihon the Amorite, king of Heshbon, and his land. Begin to possess it, and contend with him in battle. Today I will begin to put the dread of you and the fear of you on all the peoples, who are under the whole sky, who shall hear the report of you, and shall tremble and be in anguish because of you. Israel sent messengers to Sihon, king of the Amorites, saying, so verse 21 is huge. Deuteronomy 2:24-15 quotes it. It is in the Samaritan Pentateuch 20:21. Huge. Brenton Septuagint 21. Sliced and diced. Thompson Septuagint 21. Somebody got a hold of our modern translations. Sliced and diced. KJV. Sliced and diced. Gone. So that is 35 verses. So 22, let me pass through thy land, in way of the king I shall go, and not stray right or left. We will not turn into the fields or into the vineyards. Food with silver we shall buy to eat, and water with silver we shall purchase from you to drink. Only allow me to cross over as they allowed us sons of Esau, the ones dwelling in Seir, and Moabites that dwell in Ar, until we cross your boundary. And Sihon would not suffer Israel to pass through his border. And Yahuwah said to Moses, See that I begin to give you Sihon and his land, so begin to possess and live in his land. But Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Israel into the wilderness, and he came to Jahaz and fought against Israel, and Israel smote him and sons of him, and all of his with the edge of the sword, and possessed his land from Arnon unto Jabbok, even unto the children of Ammon, for the border of the children of Ammon was strong. And Israel took all these cities, and Israel dwelt in all the cities of the Amorites, in Heshbon, and in all the villages thereof. For Heshbon was the city of Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab, and taken all his land out of his hand, even unto Arnon. Wherefore they that speak in the proverbs say, Come into Heshbon, let the city of Sihon be built and prepared. For there is a fire gone out of Heshbon, a flame from the city of Sihon. It hath consumed Ar of Moab, and the lords of the high places of Arnon. Woe to thee, Moab, thou art undone, O people of Hamash. He hath given his sons that escaped and his daughters into captivity unto Sihon, king of the Amorites. We have shot at them, Heshbon is perished, even unto Dibon, and we have laid them waste, even unto Nophah, which reacheth unto Medeba. Thus Israel dwelt in the cities of the Amorites, and Moses sent to spy out Jazer. And they took the villages thereof, and drove out the Amorites that were there. And they turned and went up by the way of Bashan, and Og the king of Bashan went out against them, he and all his people, to the battle of Edrei. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, Fear him not, for I have delivered him into thy hand, and all his people, and his land. And thou shalt do to him as thou didst unto Sihon king of the Amorites, which dwelt at Heshbon. So they smote him and his sons, and all his people, until there was none left him alive, and they possessed his land. So if you look, Yeah. You'll notice in the Aramaic Targums where they got their Rabbi Babel, looks like they're adding to the word. Not funny, but the word of Yahuwah forthwith prepared a reptile which ate into the mountain and perforated it, and his head was swallowed up within it, and he sought to withdraw it but could not, because his back teeth and his front ones were drawn hither and thither. And Moshe went and took an axe of 10 cubits and sprang 10 cubits and struck him on the ankle of his foot, and he fell and died beyond the camp of Israel. See? Seems like a tall tale there. Aramaic Targums. Got to be careful of that. So, go to verse 5, Numbers 22. Oh, if you'll notice, also, I know I referenced the Samaritan Pentateuch a lot. Let's see if I can find it here. Second Kings. Yeah, 2 Kings 17, verse 26. Wherefore they speak to the king of Assyria, saying, the nations which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria know not the manner of Yahuwah of the land, or the God of the land. Therefore he hath sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the Elohim of the land. So the northern 10 tribes were taken, and then they had put people. Let's see if I can go here. See. Yeah, so verse 18, therefore Yahuwah was very angry with Israel, the northern kingdom, and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only. Also Judah kept not the commandments of Yahuwah, but they walked in the statutes of Israel which they made. And Yahuwah rejected all the seed of Israel, and afflicted them, and delivered them into the hand of spoilers, until he cast them out of his sight. And he rent Israel from the house of David, and they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king, and Jeroboam drave Israel from following Yahuwah, and made them sin a great sin. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did. They departed not from them, until Yahuwah removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day. So they're gone. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, and from Cutha, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. So that's who's in Samaria. And they possessed Samaria, and dwelt in the cities thereof. And so it was the beginning of their dwelling there, that they feared not Yahuwah. Therefore Yahuwah sent lions among them, which slew some of them, so they didn't know his ways. Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thither one of the priests whom you brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let him teach them the manner of the Elohim of the land. Then one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel, and taught them how they should fear Yahuwah. So he gave them instructions. They're still foreigners, but they have the instructions from the priest now. Howbeit every nation made gods of their own, and put them in the houses of the high places which the Samaritans had made, every nation in their cities wherein they dwelt. And the men of Babylon made Succoth-Benoth, and the men of Cuth made Nergal, and the men of Hamath made Ashima, Hashem, sound familiar? And the Avites made Nebhaz and Tartak, and the Sepharvites burnt their children in the fire to Adremelech and Anamelech, the gods of Sepharvaim. So they feared Yahuwah, and made unto themselves of the lowest of them priests of the high places, which sacrificed for them in the houses of the high places. They feared Yahuwah, and served their own gods after the manner of the nations whom they carried away from thence. Unto this day they do after the former manners. They fear not Yahuwah, neither do they after their statutes, or after their ordinances, or after the law and the commandment which Yahuwah commanded the children of Jacob, whom he named Israel, with whom Yahuwah had made a covenant, and charged them, saying, you shall not fear other gods, nor bow yourself to them, nor serve them, nor sacrifice to them. But Yahuwah, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt with a great power and a stretched out arm, him you shall fear, and him you shall worship, and to him you shall you do sacrifice. and the statutes and the ordinances and the law and the commandment which he wrote for you, you shall observe to do forevermore, and you shall not fear other gods. And the covenant that I have made with you, you shall not forget, neither shall you fear other gods, but Yahuwah your Elohim you shall fear. He shall deliver you out of the hand of all your enemies. Howbeit they did not hearken, but they did after their former manner. So these nations feared Yahuwah and served their graven images, both their children and their children's children, as did their fathers, so do they unto this day. So the Samaritans were replacements that were taught from the priest. King of Assyria brought men from Babylon. Samaritan replacements. So Numbers 23. And Balaam said unto Balak, build me here 7 altars, and prepare me here 7 oxen and 7 rams. And Balak did as Balaam had spoken, and Balak and Balaam offered on every altar a bullock and a ram. That reminds me, I want to read one other thing. Psalms 106. I was reading this morning. Very awesome. Let's go. Yeah. Let's go Septuagint. Psalms 106. Septuagint and Samaritan Pentateuch are not perfect, but they are much more accurate. Psalm 106. Give thanks to Yahuwah, for he is good, for his mercy endures forever. Let them say so, who have been redeemed by Yahuwah, whom he has redeemed from the hand of the enemy, and gathered them out of the countries from the east and west and north and south. They wandered in the wilderness in a dry land. They found no way to a city of habitation. Hungry and thirsty, their soul fainted in them. So this is the regathering. Then they cried to Yahuwah in their affliction, and he delivered them out of their distresses. And he guided them into a straight path, that they might go to a city of habitation, New Jerusalem. Let them acknowledge to Yahuwah his mercies and his wonderful works to the children of men, for he satisfies the empty soul and fills the hungry soul with good things. Even them that sit in darkness and the shadow of death, fettered in poverty and iron, because they rebelled against the words of Yahuwah and provoked the counsel of the Most High. So their heart was brought low with troubles, they were weak, and there was no helper. Then they cried to Yahuwah in their affliction, and he saved them out of their distresses. And he brought them out of darkness and the shadow of death, and broke their bonds asunder. Psalm 23. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, let them acknowledge to Yahuwah his mercies and his wonders to the children of men. For he broke to pieces the brazen gates and crushed the iron bars. He helped them out of the way of their iniquity, lawlessness, for they were brought low because of their lawlessness, iniquities. Their soul abhorred all meat, and they drew near to the gates of death. Soul abhorred all meat. When you walk into a restaurant and all they got is pork on the menu. Then they cried to Yahuwah in their affliction, and he saved them out of their distresses. He sent his word and healed them and delivered them out of their destructions. Let them acknowledge to Yahuwah his mercies and his wonderful works to the children of men. Let them offer to him the sacrifice of praise and proclaim his works with exaltation. They that go down to the sea in ships, doing business in many waters, these men have seen the works of Yahuwah and his wonders in the deep. He speaks, and the stormy wind rises, and its waves are lifted up. They go up to the heavens and go down to the depths. Their soul melts because of troubles. They are troubled, they stagger as a drunkard, and all their wisdom is swallowed up. Then they cry to Yahuwah in their affliction, and he brings them out of their distresses. And he commands the storm, and it is calmed into a gentle breeze, and its waves are still. And they are glad because they are quiet, and he guides them to their desired haven. Let them acknowledge to Yahuwah his mercies and his wonderful works to the children of men. Let them exalt him in the congregation of the people, and praise him in the seat of the elders. He turns rivers into a desert, and streams of water into a dry land, a fruitful land into saltness for the wickedness of them that dwell in it. He turns a wilderness into pools of water, and dry land into streams of water. And there he causes the hungry to dwell, and they establish for themselves cities of habitation. And they sow fields and plant vineyards, and they yield fruit of increase. And he blesses them, and they multiply exceedingly, and he diminishes not the number of their cattle. Again they become few, and are brought low by the pressure of evils and pain. Contempt is poured upon their princes, and he causes them to wander in a desert, in a trackless land. But he helps the poor out of poverty, and makes them families as a flock. The upright shall see and rejoice, and all iniquity shall stop her mouth, lawlessness. Who is wise and will observe these things, and understand the mercies of Yahuwah? O Yahuwah, my heart is ready, my heart is ready. I will sing and sing psalms with my glory. Awake, psaltery and harp. I will awake early. I will give thanks to thee, O Yahuwah, among the people. I will sing praise to thee among the Gentiles. For thy mercy is great above the heavens, and thy truth reaches to the clouds. Be thou exalted, O Yahuwah, above the heavens, and thy glory above all the earth, that thy beloved ones may be delivered. Save with thy right hand, and hear me. Yahuwah has spoken in his sanctuary. I will be exalted, and will divide Sisima, and will measure out the valley of tents. Gilad is mine, and Manasseh is mine, and Ephraim is the help of mine head. Judas is my king. Judah. Moab is the cauldron of my hope. Over Idumea will I cast my sandal. The Philistines are made subject to me. Who will bring me into the fortified city, or who will guide me to Idumea? Wilt not thou, O Yahuwah, who hast rejected us? And wilt not thou, O Yahuwah, go forth with our host? Give us help from tribulation, for vain is the help of man. Through Yahuwah we shall do valiantly, and he will bring to naught our enemies. Hallelujah. All right, Numbers 23. And Balaam said unto Balak, Build me here 7 altars, and prepare me here 7 oxen and 7 rams. And Balak did as Balaam had spoken. And Balak and Balaam offered on every altar a bullock and a ram. And Balaam said to Balak, Stand by thy burnt offering, and I will go. Peradventure the Elohim will meet. Yahuwah will meet me, will come to meet me. And whatsoever he showeth me, I will tell thee. And he went to a high place, and a messenger of Yahuwah met Balaam. So you'll see here in Samaritan Pentateuch, it says, messenger met Balaam. Numbers 23. Right. 22. 20. Numbers 22. Hold on, I got turned around here. Yep, Numbers 22. Yep, I'm on Numbers 22, not 23. All right, let's go back. 22. Oops. All right, Numbers 22. And the children of Israel set forward and pitched in the plains of Moab on this side Jordan by Jericho. And Balak the son of Zippor saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites. And Moab was sore afraid of the people because they were many, and Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel. And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, Now shall this company lick up all that are round about us, as the ox licketh up the grass of the field. And Balak the son of Zippor was king of the Moabites at that time. He sent messengers therefore unto Balaam the son of Beor to Pethor, which is by the river of the land of the children of Moab, to call him, saying, Behold, there is a people come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Staying opposite of me. Verse 6, scroll 4Q23. Please come now, therefore, and curse this people for me, for they are too mighty for me. Perhaps I shall prevail, that we may strike them, and that I may drive them out of the land. For I know that he whom you bless is blessed, and he whom you curse is cursed. So 6 to 22. Scroll 4Q27. 7. The elders of Moab and the elders of Midian departed with the rewards of divination in their hand. They came to Balaam and spoke to him the words of Balak. He said to them, Lodge here this night, and I will bring you word again, as Yahuwah shall speak to me. The princes of Moab stayed with Balaam. Yahuwah came to Balaam and said to him, Who are these men with you? Balaam said to Yahuwah, Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab, has said to me, saying, Behold, the people that has come out of Egypt covers the surface of the earth, and they are dwelling next to me. Now come, curse me them. Perhaps I shall be able to fight against them, and shall drive them out from the land. Yahuwah said to Balaam, You shall not go with the men. You shall not curse the people, for they are blessed. Balaam rose up in the morning and said to the princes of Balak, Go to your Lord, for Yahuwah refuses to permit me to go with you. The princes of Moab rose up, and they went to Balak and said to him, Balaam refuses to come with us. Balak again sent princes more and more honorable than they. They came to Balaam and said to him, Thus says Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab, Please let nothing hinder you from coming to me, for I will promote you to a very great honor, and whatever you say to me I will do. Please be sure to come therefore and curse this people for me. Balaam answered the servants of Balak, If Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I can't go beyond the word of Yahuwah my Elohim to do less or more in my heart. Now therefore please stay here tonight as well, that I may know what else Yahuwah will speak to me. And the princes of Moab stayed with Balaam. An angel of Yahuwah came to Balaam at night and said to him, If the men have come to call you, rise up, go with them, but only the word which I speak to you, that you shall do. Balaam rose up in the morning and saddled his donkey and went with the princes of Moab. So verse 20, you'll see an angel came to Balaam at night. And it says here, a messenger Yahuwah came unto Balaam at night. 22:20. And the Brenton Septuagint says, and God came to Balaam by night. Which God? Messiah. And chapter 22:20. And God came to Balaam by night. That is Thompson Septuagint. Oh, 22:20. And the KJV, and God came unto Balaam at night, and said unto him, Where's it at? Yeah, trying to find something here. John 20:28, and Thomas answered and said unto him, My Lord and my God. Why would Thomas say that? Because he knew the Messiah was God also. Yep, Genesis 1:26. Let us make man in our image and after our likeness. Who's he talking to? Angels? Nope. Who's man's made in whose image? God's image. Who's our? Him and the Son. Him and the Son. See? Genesis 1:27. So Yahuwah created man in his own image. In the image of Yahuwah created he him. Male and female created he them. In his image. Let us make man in our image. In whose image? Angels? Nope. God's image. gods, the Father and the Son. A messenger, they translated here angel, the Messiah, came to Balaam at night, said to him, if the men have come to call you, rise up, go with them, but only the word which I speak to you, that you shall do. Balaam rose up in the morning and saddled his donkey and went with the princes of Moab. 21. Yep, finished at 21. 22, Yahuwah's anger burned because he went, and Yahuwah's angel placed himself in the way as an adversary against him, Yahuwah's messenger. Now he was riding on his donkey, and his two servants were with him. The donkey saw Yahuwah's angel standing in the way with his sword drawn in his hand, and the donkey turned out of the path and went into the field. Balaam struck the donkey to turn her into the path. Then Yahuwah's angel stood with a narrow path between the vineyards, a wall being on this side and a wall on that side. See how much a translational issue can change the text. It can change the text a lot. $25. Yeah, these say the angel. 25. So it may be like one of the angels, Michael, standing there, and the Messiah is talking here, because it switches. See, God came to Balaam, and the angel stood in the path. So it could be there. So 24 to 31. And when the ass saw the angel of Yahuwah, she thrust herself into the wall and crushed Balaam's foot against the wall, and he smote her again. And the angel of Yahuwah went further and stood in a narrow place where was no way to turn either to the right hand or to the left. And when the ass saw the angel of Yahuwah, she fell down under Balaam, and Balaam's anger was kindled, and he smote the ass with a staff. And Yahuwah opened the mouth of the ass, and she said unto Balaam. So you'll see here that animals could speak, and they could speak. Read Jubilees. What have I done unto thee, that thou hast smitten me these 3 times? And Balaam said unto the ass, because thou hast mocked me, I would there were a sword in my hand, for now would I kill thee. And the ass said unto Balaam, am not I thine ass, upon which thou hast ridden ever since I was thine unto this day? Was I ever wont to do so unto thee? And he said, Nay. 31. Then Yahuwah opened the eyes of Balaam, and he saw Yahuwah's angel standing in the way, with his sword drawn in his hand, and he bowed his head and fell on his face. Yahuwah's angel said to him, Why have you struck your donkey these 3 times? Behold, I have come out as an adversary to you, because your way is evil before me. The donkey saw me and turned away from me these 3 times. Unless she had turned away from me, surely now I would have killed you and saved her alive. Balaam said to Yahuwah's angel, I have sinned, for I didn't know that you stood in the way against me. Now therefore, if it displeases you, I will go back again. 34, 35. And the angel of Yahuwah said unto Balaam, Go with the men, but only the word that I shall speak unto thee, thou shalt observe and speak. So Balaam went with the princes of Balak. And when Balak heard that Balaam was come, he went out to meet him unto a city of Moab, which is in the border of Arnon, which is in the utmost coast. Balak said to Balaam, Didn't I earnestly send for you to summon you? Why didn't you come to me? Am I not able indeed to promote you to honor? Balaam said to Balak, Behold, I have come to you. Have I now any power at all to speak anything? The word that Yahuwah puts in my mouth, that shall I speak. 38. And Balaam went with Balak, and they came unto Kirjath Huzoth. And Balak offered oxen and sheep, and sent to Balaam and to the princes that were with him. In the morning Balak took Balaam and brought him up to the high places of Baal, and he saw from there part of the people. Alright, so take a short break. I'll be right back. All right. Okay, I'm back. So, Numbers chapter 23. Happy Sabbath, Mick. Let's see. So, scroll 4Q27. Balaam said to Balak, build here 7 altars for me, and prepare here 7 bulls and 7 rams for me. Balak did as Balaam had spoken, and Balak and Balaam offered on every altar a bull and a ram. Balaam said to Balak, stand by your burnt offering, and I will go. Perhaps Yahuwah will come to meet me. Whatever he shows me, I will tell you. And Balak went and stood by his burnt offering, and Balaam called to Yahuwah. He went to a bare height. An angel of Yahuwah met Balaam, and said to him, I have prepared the 7 altars, and I have offered up a bull and a ram on every altar. So, 4, 5. And the messenger of Yahuwah put a word in Balaam's mouth and said, return unto Balak, and thus thou shalt speak. And he returned to him. Behold, he was standing by his burnt offering, he and all the princes of Moab. And he took up his parable and said, Balak the king of Moab hath brought me from Aram out of the mountains of the east, saying, come curse me Jacob, and come defy Israel. How shall I curse whom Yahuwah hath not cursed? 13. Or how shall I defy whom Yahuwah hath not defied? For from the top of the rocks I see him, and from the hills I behold him. Lo, the people shall dwell alone, and shall not be reckoned among the nations. Israel's not reckoned among the nations. They belong to Yahuwah. The other angels are over the nations. Who can count the dust of Jacob, and who can number of the 4 parts of Israel? It's a parable. 4 parts of Israel. Let me die the death of the righteous, and let my last end be like his. And that brings to mind 4 parts of Israel. What 4 parts of Israel? Isaiah 11. It shall come to pass in that day that Yahuwah shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. He shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the 4 corners of the earth. Jeremiah 16. 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, that it shall no more be said that the Lord liveth, Yahuwah liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. No more be said, first Exodus, but that Yahuwah liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I'll bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. That is, maybe it's 23. 23. Same thing. No more say the first Exodus. East and west. There we go. Psalm 107:3. Or Psalm 107, let the redeemed of Yahuwah say so, whom hath redeemed from the hand, he hath redeemed from the hand of the enemy, and gathered them out of the lands, from the east, 1, from the west, 2, from the north, 3, and from the south, 4. That's the second Exodus. And they wandered in the wilderness in a solitary way. They found no city to dwell in, hungry and thirsty. Their soul fainted in them. Then they cried unto Yahuwah in their trouble, and he delivered them out of their distresses. We read that earlier. So, and Balak said unto Balaam, What hast thou done unto me? I took thee to curse mine enemies, and behold, thou hast blessed them altogether. And he answered and said, Must I not take heed to speak that which Yahuwah hath put into my mouth? Balak said to him, Please come with me to another place where you may see them. You shall see just part of them. And this is in red. They wrote part of in the red in the scroll. And shall not see them all. Curse them from there for me. And he took him into the field of Zophim, to the top of Pisgah, and built 7 altars, and offered up a bull and a ram on every altar. He said to Balak, Stand here by your burnt offering, while I meet Yahuwah over there. And the messenger of Yahuwah met Balaam, and put a word in his mouth, and said, Go again unto Balak, and say thus. And when he came to him, behold, he stood by his burnt offering, and the princes of Moab with him. And Balak said unto him, What hath Yahuwah spoken? And he took up his parable, and said, Rise up, Balak, and hear, hearken unto me, thou son of Zippor. Yahuwah is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. Hath he said, and shall he not do it? Or hath he spoken, and shall he not make it good? Behold, I have received commandment to bless, and he hath blessed, and I cannot reverse it. He has not seen iniquity in Jacob, lawlessness, neither has he seen perverseness in Israel. Yahuwah his Elohim is with him, the shout of a king is among them. Yahuwah brings them out of Egypt. He has, as it were, the strength of the wild ox. 22, the first word of the Hebrew alphabet. If you go to, let's see, where's it at? Favorites. Very interesting website that I found earlier. Praise Yah. Alphabet chart. You go to the Aleph. The original Hebrew is a bull or ox. Ox. God, El in Hebrew, is the chief shepherd. 1 Peter 5:4. He has, as it were, the strength of the wild ox. 22. And the Samaritan Pentateuch says strength of a unicorn. So 23, 22. Yep, the glory of a unicorn says in the Septuagint. Thompson Septuagint, unicorn. See, King James Version, unicorn. This is the Masoretic text. For our modern translation, they got unicorn here. H7214. Re'aim. It says unicorn, translated as unicorn 9 times. Probably the great aurochs or wild bulls, which are now extinct. The exact meaning is not known. Dead Sea Scrolls, they got it translated as wild ox. Surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time it shall be said of Jacob and of Israel, What hath Yahuwah wrought? Behold, the people shall rise up as a great lion, and lift up himself as a young lion. He shall not lie down until he eat of the prey, and drink the blood of the slain. And Balak said unto Balaam, Neither curse them at all, nor bless them at all. But Balaam answered and said unto Balak, Told not I thee, saying, All that Yahuwah speaketh, that I must do? Balak said to Balaam, Come now, I will take you to another place, perhaps it will please Yahuwah. This is in red in the scroll, that you may curse them for me from there. Balak took Balaam to the top of Peor, that looks down on the desert. Balaam said to Balak, Build 7 altars for me here, and prepare 7 bulls and 7 rams for me here. Balak did as Balaam had said, and offered up a bull and a ram on every altar. So Balaam's helping Balak out. 24. Scroll 4Q27. When Balaam saw that it pleased Yahuwah to bless Israel, he didn't go, as at the other times, to use divination against Jacob or omens against Israel. But he set his face toward the wilderness. Balaam lifted up his eyes, and he saw Israel dwelling according to their tribes, and the Spirit of Yahuwah came on him. He took up his parable and said, Balaam the son of Beor says, the man whose eyes are opened says, who sees the vision of the Almighty falling down and having his eyes open. That reminds me of, where's it at? Enoch. The book of Enoch, found in the Dead Sea Scrolls, quoted in the New Testament, quoted throughout the scriptures. First prophet, Enoch prophesied according to Jude, so he's the first prophet. Chapter 1, the words of the blessing of Enoch, wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous, who will be living in the day of tribulation, when all the wicked and godless are to be removed. And he took up his parable and said, Enoch, a righteous man, whose eyes were opened by Yahuwah, saw the vision of the Holy One in the heavens, which the angels showed me, and from them I heard everything, and from them I understood as I saw, but not for this generation, but for a remote one which is for to come. Concerning the elect I said, and took up my parable concerning them. The Holy Great One will come forth from his dwelling, and the eternal God will tread upon the earth, even on Mount Sinai. Who's that? The Messiah. And appear from his camp, and appear in the strength of his might from the heaven of heavens, and all shall be smitten with fear, and the watchers shall quake, and great fear and trembling shall seize them unto the ends of the earth, and the high mountains shall be shaken, and the high hills shall be made low, and shall melt like wax before the flame, and the earth shall be wholly rent in sunder, and all that is upon the earth shall perish, and there shall be a judgment upon all men. But with the righteous he will make peace, and will protect the elect, and mercy shall be upon them, and they shall all belong to Yahuwah, and they shall all be prospered, and they shall all be blessed, and he will help them all, and light shall appear unto them, and he will make peace with them. And behold, he cometh with 10,000s of his holy ones, to execute judgment upon all, and to destroy all the ungodly. Repent now, and to convict all flesh of all the works of their ungodliness which they have ungodly committed, and of all the hard things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. If you speak against his commandments, you're speaking against him. You're speaking against his ways. He's holy. His commandments are holy. You'll see here, he cometh with 10,000s of his holy ones. Jude. Jude 1:14, and Enoch also the 7th from Adam prophesied of these, saying, Behold, Yahuwah cometh with 10,000s of his saints, to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. So, Balaam the son of Beor says, the man whose eyes are open says, How goodly, who sees the vision of the Almighty falling down and having his eyes open. How goodly are your tents, Jacob, and your dwellings, Israel. As the valleys they are spread out, as gardens by the riverside, as aloes which Yahuwah has planted, as cedar trees beside the waters. Water shall flow from his buckets, his seed shall be in many waters. His king shall be higher than Agag, his kingdom shall be exalted. Yahuwah brings him out of Egypt. He has, as it were, the strength of the wild ox. There's the wild ox again. He shall consume the nations his adversaries, shall break their bones in pieces, and pierce them with his arrows. He couched, he stretches as a lion. Lay down. Stretches as a lion. As a lioness, who shall rouse him up? Everyone who blesses you is blessed. Everyone who curses you is cursed. Balak's anger burned against Balaam, and he struck his hands together. Balak said to Balaam, I called you to curse my enemies, and behold, you have altogether blessed them these 3 times. Balak's frustrated, and Balak's anger was kindled. Let's see. Yep. Therefore now flee thou to thy place. I thought to promote thee unto great honor, but lo, Yahuwah hath kept thee back from honor. And Balaam said unto Balak, Spake I not also to thy messengers which thou sentest unto me, saying, If Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the commandment of Yahuwah to do either good or bad of mine own mind. But what Yahuwah saith to me, that will I speak. And now, behold, I go unto my people. Come therefore, and I will advertise thee what this people shall do to thy people in the latter days. And he took up his parable and said, Balaam the son of Beor hath said, and the man whose eyes are open hath said, he hath said which heard the words of Yahuwah and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance, but having his eyes open. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Seth. And Edom shall be a possession. Esau also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. And he looked on the Kenites, and took up his parable, and said, Strong is thy dwelling place, and thou puttest thy nest in a rock. Nevertheless the Kenites shall be wasted, until Ashur shall carry thee away captive. And he took up his parable, and said, Alas, who shall live when Yahuwah doeth this? And ships shall come from the coast of Kittim, and shall afflict Ashur, and shall afflict Eber. Kittim, Romans, afflict Eber, Hebrews, and he also shall perish forever. And Balaam rose up and went and returned to his place, and Balak also went his way. Eber's where Jacob came from, but others came from Eber also. If you look in the 1560 Geneva, in the book of Hebrews, it says the book of Hebrews, no H. Hebrews. Now, Eber lived 430 years, begot Peleg, begot sons and daughters, so others besides Peleg. Peleg's where Israel came from. So Eber had other descendants. And you'll see here, out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. What city? Jerusalem. Star out of Jacob, scepter shall rise out of Israel, the Messiah. Israel shall do valiantly. Let's see. Daniel 11:32. Go to Daniel in the Greek, 11:22. No. 11:32. And the transgressors shall bring about a covenant by deceitful ways, but a people knowing their Elohim shall prevail and do valiantly. Septuagint says valiantly. shall do exploits in the King James Version. Septuagint matches the other. So you got KJV, Masoretic text, exploits. No Hebrew word there for exploits. It's missing. Daniel 11, interlinear. 32. Where's that? 30. 32. Those do wickedly against covenant. He shall corrupt with a flattering lip, but the people who know their Elohim shall be strong, carry out great exploits. And carry out great exploits. Interesting. The Greek matches that. Israel shall do valiantly. Numbers 24, verse 18. Valiantly. Verse 18, valiantly. Valiantly. So let's see here. 25. Okay, I think I'll end it there. Happy Sabbath, Shelby. So we'll end at 24. Same place I ended last week, but the stream didn't upload for some reason. So had to do it again. Alright, happy Sabbath, everybody.